OC says very based access to the bot, and I know you wanted to talk a little bit about that and the new Telegram bot you're working on and how people can get access to this. Please let us know, how can we get access to this? Is there a bot out? What's coming?
Okay, so a few days ago, as many people have seen, I was on a live, and I teased the fact that you know if people want, if there's demand for a bot that you can just send money to, and it does what it does for me, and just trades it, then I will do it. I waited, a day. I saw a lot of people DMing me, Marvin, I don't want to sit around at the, terminal all day. How do I even use Binance? How do I open trades? All these problems that could be solved with a trading bot. So I said, okay, boom. I announced trading bot coming uh very soon. I didn't give a timeline like I heard you guys say. If you do give a timeline and uh do you miss it, then it looks bad. But for me, it's not about that. It's about I want to surprise people. When I say very soon, are they thinking a few years, or are they thinking, a few hours, or maybe a few days? So that's what I've been working on these past few days. This is why I haven't been as active on Twitter. It's because I'm a firm believer that everything, comes at the right time. I was dialed in. This is my break from unwinding coming on this interview. I'm still working on it. All that I'm gonna say is that it's coming, and uh, it's coming very soon.
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about the token then? I think I've heard in the past you said token holders, some of the top token holders may get access to this bot. What does your fee structuring look like? How are you making money? Who can get access? Just all that good stuff.
Yeah. So right now, the plan is the bot releases. The only people who will be able to utilize that bot is the people who own 5 million tokens or more. I think 5 million means 0.5% of the token,
Right.
right? And then uh, this is yet to be announced. It'll be announced very soon. But I have a buyback and burn mechanism in mind. Basically, what happens with all of the profits being generated when you use the bot, right? When What happens with all of that money? Some of that money from the fees will be allocated through a buyback and burn mechanism and a few other nuances, which I will fully explain. Very soon. But I do want to create like an exponential. Sure, a flywheel is good, right? And I'll be adding that as well for the token, as I mentioned in a few tweets ago, a few days ago. But imagine this: imagine you have a Telegram bot that trades for you. It makes profit, and it makes a lot of profit, and then more people get onboarded, and then part of the fees go directly into buying more of the token, which then creates more hype. So more people find out about the bot, which then attracts new bot users, which then generates even more fees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It becomes this exponential mechanism, which is both good for the people who invest, and it's also very good for the token itself and the project itself. Uh, this exponential mechanism, which, like I said, the whole details of it will be announced soon. But that's kind of what I want it to look like. I don't want the token to just sit there. I want it to be exactly integrated into the bulk of the product. And that's the whole reason why, I launched uh, on this app on Believe.
Sure. I mean, that's what you want. Ultimately, the success of your platform and product would directly impact the success of the token. There's so many ways you could go about doing a flywheel. And so like I'm really curious to see what you do when you release those full details. Are you I know Believe Capital has given you some capital and they're working with you pretty
R-
closely. Are they helping
Real
advise with that
quick,
flywheel?
Yeah, they're and props to them. I'm not sure if they're listening or if they will hear this, but I do want to thank them. uh, it's hard coming into the crypto space as a web 2 builder, right, and having kind of nobody there to guide you. And yeah, they are advising this project fully and working very closely with me, which I'm very grateful for, because they are dedicating a lot of time and planning a lot of things for the future in the background, while I'm just building and locked in on building. So props to them for that, for coming and they reached out to me. They liked what I built. We spoke, and yeah, now we've partnered, and along some of the other things, they are advising me on this project.
So you mentioned that you're gonna kind of incorporate this buy and burn mechanism, this flywheel. Just out of curiosity, what made you choose like a buy and burn of the token versus maybe like revenue sharing with your community, like maybe staking the token to earn revenue or something like what made you choose flywheel over revenue share? Just out of curiosity.
Well, yeah, as I previously said, you know, buy back and burn with a few other nuances. Part of the thing that I'm looking at is exactly this: staking, which lowers fees. I'm, you know, the reason why I hadn't mentioned it before is because I'm seeing how doable it is. I'm reaching to everybody that I can to help me with such a mechanism, but I'm open to a lot of ideas beyond just the ones that I mentioned, on how we can add even more utility and even more perks of holding the token. So I'm very open to everybody DMing me and giving me an idea like, hey, guess what? I have this idea. I'm very open to that. And it's still, in the works. This is why I make a very cohesive plan, such that when somebody looks at it, they say, wow, this has actually been, thought through. Like Avi said yesterday, it only takes 24 hours to just, launch a token, do some tokenomics, and do like a flywheel or something. I don't want this to just be that. I want it to be much greater. I want it to be a very perfect system where everything goes together and it's all connected, which is why I want to allocate the most amount of time that I can to it, and which is why I haven't jumped the gun yet. But as I said, I am open to everybody reaching out and discussing with me how we can neatly make this a beautiful system.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Now, I've seen projects like this kind of pursue something similar. The way you're doing it though is a little bit different. I like the nuanced piece with the news, especially when you're sourcing it the way that you do. So that's something that stands out. And there's been many people claiming to create, this institutional grade algorithm, trading algo that has this
AI
really
agents and
right. Right. But it's been a lot of word fluff. It's been a lot of buzzwords. It's been a lot of LARPs. Um,
Hmm.
and it's good to kind of get an inside look at how you're doing it, how this was uh, came to fruition in the first place. And it's good to see where you're sourcing your information from, because it definitely adds like some more like legitimacy and credence to what you're doing. So now I'm really loving what I'm hearing so far, bro. You've done a really good job, and the fact that you're still open to feedback from the community. That's also a plus as well. So just keep doing your thing, bro.
Of course. And yeah, one of the things early on in the project, when I didn't have, many followers, many people who could add reputability to me, I was just kind of a new project. A lot of comments were like, oh, this is fake, LARP, whatever you want to call it. No way, doesn't work. It's a scam, basically. And I was so confused. I was like, guys, uh, you know, the back testing documents for 70 days are all there with timestamps and the trades, etc. You can just look at the platform in live and just watch the news appear in real time, right? See the trade that it executes, watch the graph as the trade is open, and then see when it closes and see the price, and just see for yourself in real time that they are real trades, etc. And I kind of put this idea out, and that's when I started getting customers on the terminal, people buying the subscription so that they could have lower delay. And that's when I started gaining rep, and that's why you said, oh, it's a nice graph, hasn't died out. Why? Good things come slowly, right? Many projects, what they do is they boom very hard initially, and then after a few days they die out. I'm of the opinion that, slow and steady gets you a nice foundation that you can expand on. And in the long term, it will lead to an even greater boom. So I'm very happy that over the last 2 weeks, I've been talking to people. People have been seeing that this does work. They've been buying the subscription to follow along, check, etc. And yeah, I'm very happy that, it's been a slow and steady journey where I'm slowly onboarding more users.
Nice. And also when it comes to like your subscriptions, like can you run through uh just in case, I don't think we covered that one. How
No,
is
we haven't.
your subscription model set up right now?
Yeah. So right now, the free subscription, it has a 3-minute delay. Everything that you see, news or trading signals, it's with a 3-minute delay. Obviously, sure, if there's a big piece of news, it's gonna last more than obviously last more than 3 minutes, and you could still get an you know an entry that's going to be positive after 3 minutes. But like I said, speed matters. And obviously, this is not a product that I just want to, you know, give away for free. So there's two subscriptions, one for the Plus, which gives you a 25-second delay, which is pretty good. And then you have the Pro tier, which gives you a zero delay, like 200 milliseconds, depending on where you live. So it's instant. It's a monthly subscription. You get access to the lower delays that I mentioned. Second of all, what else do you get? You get a few additional features if you want to use the platform as a trading desk. The volume profile, the split between long and shorts, liquidation, heat map, and the order book live. And yeah, that's what you get. And oh, I just realized looking at the terminal something very interesting, which is not really the bulk of my product, but it was a nice feature that I thought I'd add. It's the encrypted chat. I just realized since launch I've not spoken about it once. Anyways, there's the general chat where everybody can talk, but you also have the private DMs where you can create your own password essentially, share it with users, and then as a result, you can have encrypted messaging in between you and however many people you want. I can't even see them. It's fully robust. It's end-to-end encryption. Anyways, I thought this was a neat feature for, heavy traders who actually will use this terminal as a trading desk and just sit in front of it and communicate with people. But anyways, to answer your question, those are my two subscriptions that you can buy. I actually just pushed an update right before this interview. It's not quite done. So paying for the subscription is going to be offline for, another hour until I push this latest update. To give you a tease, I basically added Wallet Connect. Before, the way you would pay, you send money to an address and click check, and then it verifies you. But to make it more secure and make sure that there's no way of people hijacking your subscription, especially as I scale up and gain more pro clients, I really wanted to make it more secure. Believe Capital advised me to add the Wallet Connect feature. I added that and also added a decrease, a reduction in price for the Pro so that it could be more accessible, especially as we go onto the path of a autonomous trading bot that's usable. So yeah, if anybody wants to pay, just give it, one more hour or something like that until I push this latest update, and it'll be all good.
Nice, nice. And what's done with those funds that are collected from subscriptions? Like, is that also going to be like a buy and burn or?
Yeah, a few days ago, I tweeted one of the things that I'll be adding is a flywheel, but not just the traditional flywheel. Instead, also on top of that, a business revenue flywheel, so that some of the money that I make from the subscription revenue goes into the token itself. So a company revenue buyback flywheel, essentially.
Nice.
That's in plan.